Welcome to the Real Estate Syndication Show. Whether you are a seasoned investor or building a new real estate business, this is the show for you. Whitney Sewell talks to top experts in the business. Our goal is to help you master real estate syndication. And now your host, Whitney Sewell.
Are you a new or experienced investor wanting to learn how to have a successful syndication business? Learn from the nation's leading syndication expert, my friend, Vinny Smile Chopra. He has created a multifamily academy where you will learn everything about deal analyzing to selecting emerging markets, managing assets, and much more. In the academy, you'll find over 500 lectures and templates to help you run a successful syndication business. Your membership also gives you access to Vinny every Wednesday through masterminding and coaching calls. Vinny came to the U.S. with only $7 and now is a CEO of 5 companies, acquiring and managing a portfolio of more than 3,500 units. He's completed 26 successful syndications ranging from 50 to 500 units and created a portfolio valued over $200 million in commercial real estate. He built the academy to teach and mentor investors like you to succeed. To learn more about the Multifamily Academy, text LEARN, L-E-A-R-N, to 474747 or call his team at 925-766-3518. This is your daily real estate syndication show. I'm your host, Whitney Sewell. Today our guest is Ekaterina Stepanova. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Whitney. Very, very exciting.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you here. I've known you a little while now. We've talked at numerous conferences, and I just see you're growing. Your team is growing. You all are doing some big stuff. It's awesome to see that happen. But Ekaterina started her real estate investment career 12 years ago, buying her first property in Moscow, Russia, followed by an acquisition in New York City and a turnkey property in Memphis, Tennessee. Wow. That's talking about all over the globe. That's a first. That's a first for the show, right? So 2 years ago, she switched her focus to commercial real estate and now exclusively invests in manufactured housing. She recently became the principal of a 38-space mobile home park in Florida, and her partnership owns 5 manufactured communities in total. She's also a co-organizer of New York-based monthly mobile home park investors meetup, known as the MHP Tribe. I love that. And she was sharing with me before the show that there's only 3 of these in the country. Is that right?
That is right. It
Wow.
is very exciting that we happen to just take on that space and educate also people in New York City currently about this niche and about this industry.
Wow. Well, Ekaterina, thank you so much for your time, for being on the show, and tell the listeners a little more about who you are, and maybe this transition from buying property in Russia to buying property in the States, and how that worked out.
That all kind of course. Well, I was always interested in real estate. I wouldn't say that you could really invest. You might not have all this opportunity invest in real estate, living necessarily in Russia, and just go ahead and buy up commercial real estate and such. It's not that easy, I would say, not such a straightforward path. But when I immigrated to United States and moved to New York City, I was always dreaming about owning my own personal residence, first in New York, and then that became true, and then I was really interested in continuing on investing. And I think many people start very tentatively and not sure how it's going to go, what to do, what you know, what you don't know, and it's just really scary and intimidating, that space. So I thought, you know what, maybe turnkey is the way to go. I don't know much. I know nothing about nothing. So let me try that. So I tried that, and I had 2 evictions in a matter of 6 months in my first property. And it quickly taught me one thing, that when you own single door or single property and you have a single tenant, that is as much of a risk as you can possibly take. So I thought that going into commercial real estate is just so less risky, and decided to do just that. Started studying learning and whatever I could about the commercial real estate investing and about different classes of assets. And after a while, I decided to stick with mobile home parks because I thought that's something interesting that looks like a little community to me. It's a little village. It just had a very good feeling to me. So I thought, you know what, let me try that. And again, more learning, more trying, starting marketing, got some feedback from owners. People started calling me back, and I was learning how to speak to them, what to ask, what not to ask. They will ask me questions, so I quickly figured out that I don't know many things. And luckily enough, I just want to say it's very, very important to have someone to mentor you or to show you the ropes. And those people who have that are very lucky. And I was lucky in that regard because I had probably two big mentors, I would say, in the industry, and also in my real estate life, so to speak. One is Gina Barbaro, who kind of guided me probably to that also decision to look into mobile home park space to begin with. And once I got into that space, I was mentored by Charles D. Hart, Sunrise Capital. These guys, they put together this amazing academy, which I was a student of, and then Charles just spent numerous hours with my team, mentoring us, working with us through the deals, how to do underwriting, what to ask, how to negotiate deals. And that's how I also met my partners then, who had more experience in the industry. Matt Battinger is one of my partners who lives in Georgia. I'm in New York, he's in Georgia, and he has park operational experience. He's done joint ventures before. And then we also met our third partner, Nico Villanueva, who is in California. Nick has extensive background in commercial and residential real estate. I think it's 18 years. He has the longest background in real estate than all three of us.
Awesome.
And, yeah, that's
wow. No, it's just really neat that, you started out with Turnkey, you tried to get in, and then you figured out you said in 6 months you had 2 evictions, and then it just really hit you that, okay, this seems pretty risky to only have one unit.
Very,
right.
Very.
So, okay, your eyes were open to, okay, we need more units. But I like too how you decided to focus. We're not just like going to buy mobile home parks, storage, multifamily, whatever, retail. We're not going to just look for everything, but I think there's a lot of value in like focusing on one thing, and being really good at that. And, and then maybe eventually we do other things, but for at least for a time, we're going to focus. And it looks like that's been successful. You all have purchased a few deals now and in process of buying another. And so, tell me about the focus on the mobile home parks and why mobile home parks as opposed to multifamily or self-storage or something else.
Sure. Well, of course, I would say the uniqueness of this opportunity. It takes, I would say, a little bit of a different approach. My team, we go direct to sellers, direct to owners. And I like this approach. It's very personal. It's very real. Oftentimes you get to communicate directly with owners, and that is quite unique because also the owner, I would say, profile, oftentimes they're mom and pop owners. So with that comes not only opportunity to buy great deal, so to speak, but also learn from their experience. And if you listen to those people, oftentimes this how owners come to own those parks. It's usually they inherit them. Their parents or their grandparents built the parks in 40s, 50s, 60s. And when you talk to them, they can really teach you about this industry, about the park. They will tell you how they built it, what to be on lookout for, and just really educate you and really help you out if you listen. And it seemed to be very unique, and I really like that personal approach. Um, so I guess that's just was the attractive point in that. And
Yeah, I can relate to that. I like to talk to people, and it would be much more personable to be able to just talk to people and have a phone conversation or even meet in person as opposed to having to go through, a third party like a broker, obviously, that we have to do a lot in the multifamily space. But that would be attractive to me as well. But, what about, I guess, what are some things maybe early on that you learned about mobile home parks or maybe some things that you know now that you didn't know initially that you wish you had have known?
Yeah, I think that it is quite important to have a support of your team, because you just go further faster if you have a team. Someone knows industry better. Someone is better at marketing. Someone is better at underwriting, or has financials together, and it just gives you so much more opportunity if you work with a team. So I think it's just very helpful to identify someone who you might be working together with, because that's just invaluable. I do still work full time, and for me to do the amount of marketing that we do, all these deals underwriting and working through the due diligence, it wouldn't be possible if not for the team, because we can divide and conquer together and share contacts and brainstorm and discuss things. It's just the best. I like that aspect.
I couldn't agree more. And I like how, you're focused on it. You know what your focus is, and that's mobile home parks. And then also, growing your team so you all can specialize on different parts of the business. And even that allows you to narrow your focus, does it,
Yes.
within the business. So you're not as overwhelmed, doing everything. You can know what your tasks are, what you're responsible for, and then, you can move forward a lot faster. I feel I've seen it happen numerous times, and I see it happening in you all as well. And so, how are you managing you're still working full time, you're doing this, how do you manage all this? How do you manage your time and make this happen?
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of having a team. So we work, we use systems. We have systems in place that we work through. We use a CRM program. We use a contact management system. So we make sure we assign tasks, who is doing what, so we know. And we keep notes. We keep track of our due diligence list, of other things other items that we have on our to-do. And we just make sure we communicate a lot. And that's how we make it happen.
That's
one
awesome.
of our he travels a lot, so we're just trying to make it work.
So a few things there, you talk about like systems and which is crucial, but like CRM, what type of CRM system do you all use?
Sure. We use Fresh Sales for our contacts. We use Monday.com for project management, and that's mostly it. And for documents, we just store everything on Google Drive.
Nice.
Dropbox, Google Drive, but yeah. So that's pretty simple. That's pretty simple. But for CRM, absolutely, to keep track of the contacts, of the database and all. Yeah, we use Fresh Sales.
Fresh Sales. I haven't heard of them. I've done a lot of research about different CRMs. Do you like them? Does that work well for your business?
Yeah, it serves the purpose right now. So it just allows us to do the bare minimum that we need to do, and it just works fine.
What's a way, you mentioned communication, which obviously on any team is crucial. What's the best way you
Mhm.
all found to communicate, or is that just mostly through text and phone call and email, or is there anything else that you use?
Well, anything that is deal related, business related, and it's not just quick yes or no, goes through Monday.com because it keeps the trail of anything that we're discussing about the deal, underwriting, just deal discussion, marketing discussion, anything that we need to keep track of, or for example, deal underwriting is ready. I'll drop it in Monday. I'll drop a link rather in Monday and tag my team saying, hey guys, that's ready. Go in, check it out. And so yeah, for everything, it's going to be Monday. If it's something really quick, could be just what's up.
No, I like that. It's important that we're at least tracking these things, right? And then we have a task management system.
Yep, yeah. So in Monday, we also have the complete checklist for any deals that we are underwriting. So we just have to go one by one by one by one. Who is responsible for what are the deadlines, and so yeah.
Nice. That helps
Mhm.
everybody know what they're responsible for. No, I like
Yep.
that. So tell me how how the meetup, has helped, or what that's done. I've never even heard of a mobile home park meetup, that focused, which is, it's great. It's great to be niche down and to be that focused. And then, everybody there is interested in that. Right. And so, tell me about your meetup and how that's operating and working.
Yeah, sure. So we have it in the city, New York, once a month. And I have co-organizers. Andrei Boychuk is a fellow mobile home park owner from New York, and Roman Tomkiv. These are the two co-organizers of this meetup. Roman recently moved out to North Carolina, so hopefully he starts the franchise there of MHP Tribe. And so far, Andre and I are holding down the fort here once a month. We meet in Midtown and we bring in different speakers, different guests. We had, for our first meetup, we had a fellow park owner, operator, and investor, and Jared Sornamer, and then we had Charles D. Hart, our industry mentor, and we had Gina Barber coming out. Yeah, and just we trying to bring in interesting speakers who could share insights, and we have people from tri-state area coming down. I think more and more people right now are interested in the industry, interested how to get started, what it's even like. How does trailer or mobile home look like? What is it like? How do you operate this, and how to deal with that? What is the different approach of managing it? How does infrastructure looks like? What do we need to know? How to find those? How to underwrite? How to negotiate, and so on. So for our next meetup, we have actually mobile home park broker coming
Nice.
down from Atlanta, also to share news about the market, and Glenn Esterson with Marcus Millichap. So he has a lot of experience in the industry. And that would be, I think, very exciting to hear what's new.
How has the meetup changed your business, or pros, cons? How what's it done for you, or do you encourage others to also start a meetup?
I would say this is mostly it was a very selfish reason for Andre and I to start the meetup, because first off, we get to meet these awesome guests who, for that reason alone, they are willing to come out and speak to folks, and this is just incredible. Otherwise, we'll probably will have to wait to meet them at the conference or something like that. And it was just great to keep talking and keep deepening our knowledge in the industry, and just learning, really just learning and networking with the like-minded individuals. So it's very selfish, and it's I'm just really excited that it's working so well so far.
Great. That's all. And I've heard great things, people that have started meetups, and that's neat though that you all started one that's really niched down and only 3 in the country. That's pretty impressive. So I hope that's, continues to grow as well. So, I know you all are moving from, or as the deals that you all have recently done, now you're doing I guess they've been mostly JV deals. And now you're moving to a fund. And, let's elaborate on that a little bit, and why you're moving from, is it something specifically for mobile home parks, or is it, just the way your business is growing? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So, yes, prior to this moment, we've been doing joint ventures. My partners, they had mostly experience in joint ventures. And at this moment, we have identified 2 deals that we are moving forward with. One is in Akron, Ohio, which is a larger turnaround project that is 94 spaces, and there's a lot of work to be done. And it has a great upside, which we plan on achieving in the course of maybe 5+ years. And we have another deal that is in Tucson, Arizona, which is a 66 space park. However, it is there is nothing to be done. So it's very much turnkey. And we thought that by putting those 2 together, that would be very safe for our partners and potential investors to deal with, because it really mitigates any risk and levels the field. So we thought, that would be a good idea to do the syndication with at least these 2 deals. And we have some others in the works, so we'll identify whichever one we're gonna put in the mix, and it will be a good starting point. So it's very accessible. We know exactly what needs to happen in those deals, and it's very easy, I guess, for us to see, because that's not 10 deals in the fund. It's maybe just 2-3 deals. And we will, of course, reach out first to people we know and who maybe joined forces with us prior, and will be accredited investors this time around. Yes, so that's our first venture in the fund.
Nice. No, it's awesome. That's awesome. You're going to grow from there, I'm sure. So, going into a fund, I guess I was just thinking about joint venture versus, going into a fund, and now, 2 deals into a fund. I like how you all are, diversifying that a little bit. You got one deal that you talked about was really turnkey. Everything's been done. You got another that you're going to put in that fund as well that needs some work. Right. And so what's some of the work that needs to be done on the one that's not turnkey?
Yeah. So that is, it just has a huge upside. And the work is infilling the park, just working on the tenant base, just making it more stable, doing some work with infrastructure, just prettying it up pretty much, because the park is located, it has a very central location, yet it's probably not such a pretty sight out of everything else that's downtown, and we just need to make it look presentable, so new tenants would love to live there and feel good about it. So that's pretty straightforward. It is management intensive for the first probably 2-3 years, but that's the opportunity. That's right.
You're willing to do something nobody else is willing to do, right? Or you see an opportunity nobody else sees.
Yeah. Well, you see, these both deals, as I mentioned earlier, we go direct to owners, and both of these deals, they've been in works for a year or year plus. How it came about is at the first go, it wasn't the opportunity. Maybe there was a larger vacancy in one park, another park had a higher price point, then someone didn't perform, but we stayed in touch, we followed up, and that's how we got a shot. And another opportunity, the park was infilled some more, so then it really became worth it for us to pursue. But again, this is a matter of CRM.
Yeah. So I really,
park owners.
yeah, I like how you talked about it. These deals have been in the works for a year. And so, what caused the deals to happen though? You reach out, it wasn't time, like you mentioned. And then, what was your process to really getting these deals, to where they're at now?
Yeah, well, it was a matter of just following up, checking in. And on Ohio Park, one seller didn't work out, then another seller didn't work out. They couldn't obtain financing. And then by that time, when I was reaching out, just checking in, hey, did you guys close yet? And they said, well, actually, yet another buyer have not worked out, and by now we actually infilled the park somewhat. So then said, okay, so let's revisit this, and we did, and we're moving forward with it, and it became worth it. Another one, it was just a higher price point, and again, one seller didn't work out, another just was giving grief with the paperwork, and you just stay and be ready.
I love it how you didn't give up. They even told you it was under contract, and you followed back up even after that, right? I mean, for them to tell you it didn't work out.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's not closed until it's closed.
That's right. That is right. That is right. Well, changing gears, just a little bit. What's been the hardest part, for you all so far, in buying mobile home parks, or even maybe moving into a fund? What's been the hardest part of this real estate journey so far?
I think it's just a matter of staying patient. Patience is not easy sometimes, because one deal might take 4-6 months to close, and everybody's saying, so have you closed it, no, it might be too funny, but it does take a bit of a time, and until you close it, there are so many things that can go wrong, and you just need to take it as it comes. You cannot over stress about it. It's just what it is, and also accept that there are so many things that can go wrong, and most of them you have no control over, and just have to be patient and stay, solution oriented, and ask how we can figure this out, how we can move forward. What would it take for us to make this happen?
I like that. You can't change, or you shouldn't worry about what you can't change or no control over, right? But I'm as guilty as anybody, that's for sure. So what's your one thing you would say that's contributed to your success?
We always working towards it, and I think just consistency is the key. Consistency and being patient, and really knowing that if this is what you really want to do, you gotta stay in it. You gotta stay in it and take time. Everything takes time, and you gotta let people to get to know you, also get to know people in the industry, and just enjoy it. Just be consistent, stay in it, and enjoy it.
And what's a way that you all have recently improved your business that we could all apply to ours?
That's a good question. I think more being involved and meeting more people, just being really open to it. Sometimes we think, oh, can I go to this meetup or join that conference? There's not enough time in the world, and and it really pays off on the long run. Of course, it's never a quick fix, but I feel like it does pay off in the long run if you take time and get to know people. I think relationships are the key.
I agree. I agree. And before we have to go, tell the listeners how you like to give back.
Well, that's giving back. I think that portion of it is also with this meetup. We are trying to. We recently, well, as recent as the last meetup, we started trying a different format of the meetup, doing some roundtables. We just trying to identify what are the most interesting topics for people who are just starting out in the industry, and trying to get those discussions going, whatever they need to know from the very, very beginning. Just trying to share whatever knowledge we have to date, and trying to bring most interesting speakers to them. And I think that's one of the ways. And also, I have to say something. Recently, Andrew Wojcik was the organizer of the meetup, who actually initiated the meetup. Who one afternoon he said, "You know what?" He just sent a message to Roman and myself, and said, "You know what? I registered the meetup. It's all happening. It's on." So we are on officially. And so recently we were just brainstorming and trying to figure out what are the tools that other investors like ourselves would benefit from. And we figured that, for example, one of the tools that is currently somewhat missing in our toolbox is, and which is kind of very highly priced, the investors management system. If you were to go out and use those softwares that are right now on the market, they're very expensive, and they cost upwards of, it's a few hundred a month to manage your investors' relationship. And sometimes you don't need them to be so advanced, and something easier and simpler could just as well do the job. So we thought, we might just address it. And we actually started working on this, which is very interesting and insightful. And we're actually in the process of right now putting together this investors management portal that other investors just like ourselves could benefit for a very limited price per month, and which I think will be just amazing to have this tool and not having to pay just incredible fees for some very, very advanced portals and systems that we have right now in the market.
Wow. And that's something you all are developing?
Yes, because we know what we need. We know what we need, and we know how simple it is and not complicated it needs to be for us to use it and for our investors to use it. So yeah, that's been actually a very exciting exercise for us.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to hearing more about that, or we'll have to talk about that again in the future, when that gets going. But Ekaterina, you've been a great guest. I appreciate you talking about, mobile home parks and y'all going from joint venture to a fund, and just the growth of really employing a team as well, and how that's benefited you all, and the tools even that you use. So, but tell the listeners how they can get in touch with you and learn more about your business.
Sure. Well, we are at mhpteam.com. Very easy
like it.
to remember. And we are at M2K, M number 2K partners at mhp-team.com. And if any questions about the MHP business or meetup or portal or anything, feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to respond and just communicate. It's always a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Whitney. I really appreciate Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I'm glad to have you on the show, and appreciate your time very much. And I appreciate the listeners being with us today and every day. And I hope you'll go to LifeBridge Capital also and connect with me, and we'll schedule a call. Happy to help you any way I can. And also go to the Facebook group, the Real Estate Syndication Show, so we can all learn from experts. And just like Ekaterina, and grow our businesses together. We will talk to each of you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Syndication Show, brought to you by LifeBridge Capital. LifeBridge Capital works with investors nationwide to invest in real estate, while also donating 50% of its profits to assist parents who are committing to adoption. LifeBridge Capital, making a difference, one investor and one child at a time. Connect online at www.lifebridgecapital.com for free material and videos to further your success.